Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit View Time. Today we got Trumpeter's 1/72 scale A-6A Intruder. And let's face it, who doesn't love this aircraft after watching Flight of the Intruder? Probably one of the greatest films of all time in my top 10 aviation films, definitely. So anyway, as you can see, really nice box art. Something just simple and clever. Feeling the need for speed there, zipping along with the MiG right behind you. All right, so again, pretty much an iconic aircraft, and we've built this in other scales. You might remember back in the day I did the giant, super detailed 32nd one after waiting an eternity for that kit to come out. And then obviously we did the 48 scale, and now finally we've got some nice bang up to date 72nd scale Intruders coming down the line as well. Obviously we've got some other ones out there like Fujimis and things like that, but actually this one looks to be particularly nice. So our usual thing, if we have a run around on the box first, got some nice marking options as you can see down there. So it looks like we've got two marking options down in there, so that's really nice. And then over on here we've got your kit number for this one, which is 10640, and then down in here we're looking at the full load of weaponry, which is quite nice. So we've got Mark 81s, we've got Mark 82s down there, we've got some Rockeye Mark 20s, we've got some M117s, GBU 8s, when we've got fuel tanks, and again looks like we've got really nice detailed pylons all the way through. All right, so very nice indeed. So in the box we are greeted by usual blunt about what's coming out, and again obviously about the Intruder down in there, as we'll see. I assume that's the clear part, so have a look at those in a moment. We've got some sprue with the wings, looks like it's all separately bagged, which is quite nice. Nice little bit of protection on one fuselage but not the other. Don't know why that would be like that, but there we go. Weaponry, so we've got a match pair down in there, looks like we've got some seats in there and things like that, which is nice. And again we've got the wing structures, fully protected one down in there, which is quite nice. It's actually in a foam bag, which is nice. And we've got your weapons ones, as you might imagine, all the way through. So if we start in the old instructions, if we can get this out, there we go. So we are greeted by, just move that one over there, that's it, try and get all of this in. The call out sheets, fair enough, we'll look at those in a moment, and then we'll just drop straight in. So again, straight into it, sprue layouts, various things. Seats look really nicely detailed, to be honest, for 72nd scale, so that looks pretty nice. Cockpit detail going down in there as well. So again, we've got some decals for the instrument panels and things like that, which is absolutely fine in this scale. And again, we've got things like the little HUD bin or the gun sight being fitted down in up there, the control columns, things like that, and the instrument panel coming over the top. Then it drops down into the gear, so obviously you've got the nose gear going in there as well, right the way through. And again, that all looks very nice. Some nice details down in there. Then next up into the main gear, so we're putting the main gear together, and then we've got the intake. So we haven't got full length engines or anything else like that in here, but what we have got is very much like the Hobby Boss one. There's just sort of first stage compressor blades down in there, which is going to be perfectly adequate. With that done, we can actually start to get it together then, so that nose wheel section is going to lock in down in there. All right, and again, it looks like a quite nice keyed lock system, which is definitely an upgrade on that usual way of doing it. Down in there, cockpit being fitted, and we've got this plate at the back, which goes through just like that. And I'm wondering if we might see a K version come out of this, because of the way that they've just done that little bit there. Then obviously we've got things saying about cutting and removing some of the little lumps and bumps off, which is fair play. And then obviously down in here we've got the main parts going together. So once you've got it together, we've got the actual tail and rudders being put on there, so that's fine. We've got the actual speed brakes being fitted down onto that one, the engine and exhaust being put on, intakes on. There's no radar or anything else like that on the front, so that can obviously be all closed up. And then obviously the clear parts put through. Clear parts got some nice framing work all the way through, so that looks very nice indeed. And then obviously a bit of a highlight for this one is the wing fold section. Also, we've got really nice flaps and slats down in here as well, so we've got both sets of those. And then over onto the other side, fitting in some of the actual scoops, air scoops and various things being put underneath. We've got the doors being fitted down onto here as well, so all of those parts being fitted on, which is very nice. Then we've got the outer wing section. So again, it looks like you've got options if you want to cut and remove them, closed or open, to have your flaps and slats and the ailerons deployed. And then looking at this, I'm just checking. Yeah, so you can have the speed brake open or closed, which is nice, because actually I think it looks really nice with them open. So very, very nice indeed. Exactly the same for the other side, as you might imagine, and then depending on how you're going to go through. So we've got the the air-to-air refueling probe fitted on the front. I assume you can have this opened or closed. for the boarding ladder, although we'll have to check on that one. And then obviously we've got the wings, and in this one we're just having it closed over. So you've got a pin system which is going to go through. Be interested to see how strong that is, and a couple more air scoops on the back. If we're folding it all up, which does look very nice indeed, we've got some more details being fitted down into there, which looks really nice with all of those on there. We've got the pylons being fitted down into this one. Then we've got the main doors all being fitted on, which is fair enough. And then last up, we've actually got the weaponry, which is pretty much standard. As you say, you've got your drop tanks, you've got your multiple ejector racks down in there, and obviously you can load it up with Mark 81s and 82s. And at the back here, we've got a diagram showing the actual weapons loadouts. All right, so that's very nice indeed. Speaking of which, you've got the color callouts down in here as well. So we have, I'm just trying to think, has it not got the markings on? It hasn't. So again, I'm just checking on these because the speed brakes, I know for a fact, at some point they bolted them shut. So I always thought when they were darker colour they were bolted shut. So I don't know, you might have to check on that one, do a little bit of research on these ones. But again, really nice as well. We've got that sort of standard system. I'm just wondering, obviously it's calling out the grey here. It's saying light gull, but obviously that's not like light gull colour. So don't take too much into that. But obviously light gull with the white looks absolutely fantastic. And a black nose. Really very nice on those ones as well. And then down on here as well, who we got here? VA145 as well, without the black nose with the tail on, looking very, very nice indeed. So yeah, really nice options with the marking straight out the back. We've also got for your weaponry, as I say, you've got those rock eyes and obviously all the other ones down in here. Some nice little stencil data on the pylons as well, which is quite nice. So again, and obviously it's got some of your marking options down in there. So in here we are greeted by, in the decals, we have got a mask sheet. So this looks like now it's standard with all Trumpeter kits. You're getting a mask set for it, which is actually really nice. It's very hard to pick up on camera because it's got a texture like wallpaper, but it does work, and I have used them in the past and they are very nice indeed. Then we've got the decal sheet. Which again looks very, very nice indeed. Can't complain about that. Yeah, very, very nice. Very cool. Which is very good. Right, okay, so important bit into the plastic. So we'll start with the fuselage first, because let's face it, we all want to see that first. Okay, so find a little join here. Okay, we have the body. Actually looks really very, very nice indeed. To be honest, it looks incredibly similar to even its big brethren, you know, but again, you've got nice recessed and raised details all the way down in here, you might notice. So that's very, very nice indeed. And again, you've got the riveting detail and the surface detail. Looks pretty darn good to me all the way through. Obviously some of these areas like here, it's got this will be for the night formation markings. I don't think they had them on the 8 particularly, so I assume this is like a generic sprue, so you're going to have to sand those off, I do believe. But again, generally looks very nice. The detail down here on the tail, try and catch it in the light, there we go, looks very, very nice indeed. Looks like a slight sink mark in there though. There's a tiny little sink mark just at the top here. Here we go, you can see it just there. Would you see it? I doubt it, because obviously it's thick, so it's right the way through. Show it from the other side, you'll be fine. But generally, very nice. We've got no ejector pins. You've got that square system they do, which is barely visible, which is really nice as well for the intakes. So that looks very nice. And again, just a really good, solid model. On the inside, again, we've got nothing at all. And again, it's interesting, this key system they got down in here of multiple tabs coming through, but you've got so much meat on this side, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all with that one. All right, so there's that. And then if we go straight into the wings, so we can keep it together. And again, really nice. You can see the riveting detail and the panel lining. That actually looks really nice. And you've got these 3 tabs, as we were saying, that go through. So hopefully they're going to work very, very nicely. You've got ejector pins on the inside, but they're all tucked out the way. There's nothing prominent. no bad bits at all. Instrument panel, as we know, is a little bit, but then we've got decals for going over that anyway, so that'll take care of that. So again, I think it gets buried so deep in there, it's not going to be easy to see that. So that's absolutely fine. One piece nose, which is quite nice. So again, it's nicely molded. So that'll be quite good, because all you're going to have is a tiny little faint line all the way around. You can sound that easy, so you haven't got to put two halves of nose together. Okay, so then we've got the main cockpit area and things, and again, usual thing, beautifully protected all the way through. So just move that off as well. And again, a little bit bigger this sprue. So as you can see, one piece tails, cockpit, again, it isn't much on it, but again, you've got really nice details all the way through on there. So look on the close-up, you can probably see. So the cockpit's got nothing there, but the back one down in here, it's got plenty of wiring and plumbing. So's the actual intakes, so's all the gear. We've got the rear section down in here as well for the tail hook. And again, generally looks really nice. The sides of the wheel wells look nice. Instrument panel combing across there looks nice. The gear detail, all very nice indeed as well. Again, haven't got much in the way of depth on these engines' exhausts. It'd be nice if they were a little bit deeper. But yeah, generally very nice indeed. Okay, so outer wings. So on the outer wing front, as you can see, again, nicely riveting detail, all the bits down in there. See, catch it in the light, looking very nice indeed. We've got those flaps, again, pretty sharp, all of those. And again, for a 72nd scale, it's got plenty of meat on the old bones as well. So I was really worried about this wing lock system, but actually you've got a nice, good, solid plug is going to fit through there as well. So if you are doing them, I think it'd be absolutely fine, because you've got this plenty of meat on here and on the other side of how that's going to be. So again, that looks pretty nice indeed, no problem with that. Okay, so we've got a match pair down in here, because obviously pretty much left and rights on here. So we have the seat, which looks pretty adequate, shall we say, all the way through on that one. And again, the gear looks nice. We've got the weapons, the various parts. So if we start up here, looks pretty darn good. It's nice to see we get the sway braces as well down in here for the racks, which is nice. Separate seats and cushions, which is nice. No weight on wheels and that, but then again, we're not expecting too much down in here, but generally very nice. So we've got a match pair of those. Then in here, which is a very odd way of doing this, we've got our nice protective bag, and a bubble wrap bag. So down in here, we've got obviously the pylons, we've got the speed brakes molded in the open position. We've got the steps, which do have a little bit of detail, which is handy, because I was a bit worried about that. But the detail on the pylons there, this is obviously the outer one, which you're going to see that detail for when it's done. And again, we've got all the actuators down in here, the various parts of the flaps. Again, these speed brakes and the detail on the inside there is absolutely beautiful, very nice, very thinly molded. So now you can see whilst they had to take the protection to do it. But again, you've got that sort of worm, I don't know if it's a worm screw on these, or whatever it is, but yeah, it looks very nice. Generally pretty darn good. Inside the speed brakes, we've got no ejector pins, so that's nice. We've got nothing in the doors either, that's nice. I was a little bit worried about the actual insides of these, because it doesn't mention about them being open, but I'm sure you can have these steps, the boarding steps, port and starboard sides, open position, because they're quite nice as well. And even down in here, tiniest details on the insides of everything, even down in here on the nose gear door, looks very nice. I think that's the nose gear door. So yeah, very nice all the way through. There's no sink marks on anywhere else that I can see, which is nice, but the detailing on these with the riveting detail and the structures down on these, I think looks absolutely exquisite. Okay, we've got another match pair down in here, because this is just weapons. So again, well, there we go. So weapon set, pretty much as standard, Mark 81s, Mark 82s. We've got the clusters down in there. Again, more sway braces, which is really nice. The tail structures are in one piece as well. So again, that's very, very nice to get those. One thing we've never had to have worry about with Trumpeter is scrimping on weapons. So that's very nice indeed. Okay, last up, the all-important clear bit. Now they're good enough to give us a mask set. Okay, that looks really nice. Again, Trumpeter is one of those things. I know, you get the people and they're on it's Trumpeter and all of this. It's like the accuracy and the detail is sometimes a bit. The clear parts are always absolutely mega. So again, very, very nice indeed. Although that said, what is that on the side? I'm pretty sure that's a mould line. That's actually very unusual for them. But unfortunately, that's a mould line down in there. Why have they moulded it like that? But it's even noticeable. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm now gazing at my 32nd one, which is a bit further away in the cabinet, but it doesn't have a mould line down in here. So unless I've missed something and there's some type of seam line down in here, I don't think it has it. And that, to be honest with you, is going to be a pain to get rid of because it's big. It's a big noticeable one down in there. You can even hear it. That's why I'm thinking, is it supposed to be there? I haven't built an A. I've got the later one up there. Yeah, it'd be interesting. But you can see the mould line actually runs to the rear. Comes up, goes right the way through. The front one, exquisite, beautiful. That classic look. The Intruder, I call it sort of Bugs Bunny eyes. Looking very nice indeed, and a couple of nav lights down there. Shame about that because I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to do a little bit of research and get back to you on that particular one. But yeah, generally I have to say that's a beautiful kit. Let's face it, I would say next best to it would be the old Vijimi kit, and that is absolutely Harold now. It's showing its age. It's a lovely kit, don't get me wrong, and I don't think it's got a seam line on the clear parts like this one's got. But again, this one is head and shoulders above it. I love certain details. I love the way they've done the spree brakes, really, really detailed. And obviously with the wing fold up, you've got all the detail down in there on that pylon as it becomes part of the wing fold. That's beautifully done as well. And again, surface detail right the way over it looks very, very nice. The cockpit's a bit with the instrument panel and stuff like that. If you did want to do it yourself, you can't because obviously it's a decal, but that's pretty much standard with 72nd scale kits from this era. So yeah, it is. It's one of those ones where sometimes you get good bits, bad bits. My only doubt is this seam line into the actual clear parts. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. It's not a problem, especially if you've got it open. If you're going to have it slid back, you're probably not even going to notice it. What is it and how easy is that going to get removed? I don't know. It may be, it should have it, but I'm looking on the box art, it hasn't, and my one hasn't, and I don't think I've ever seen one before. And I have looked around a few of these when I've been in the States as well, and I've never noticed it having that. So I'm sure that's actually a mold seam not supposed to be on it. But anyway, just a little bit of a thing. You might have to sand it out, bit of polishing work, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Anyway, that is the gorgeous little Trumpeter A6 Intruder in 1/72 scale.